Hey, this is Simon with a battle report against my hated opponents, the Ogre Kingdoms. So, this is the first game in a campaign in which you kind of start playing games at low point values, and you can't take any upgrades, basically. You can only take mundane equipment on your characters and just command on your units, but no magic banners. And then as you go through the campaign, you kind of build up experience and can spend points on your items as you go along. So looking at my opponent's deployment, on the left he's got 6 man-eaters. I believe they had swift stride and maybe pistols or additional hand weapons. Saber tusk, a thunder tusk, unit of 5 man-eaters with poison, sniper, and pistols. Big unit of iron guts with a BSB and a fire belly. Saber tusk and another saber tusk on the far right. So on my far right, I had 6 Grail Knights with no command. Towards the center, I had a unit of Knights of the Realm full command with a BSB. Who can't take mundane equipment, so he only has a 3-up armor, which is a little bit soft. I also have an 80-point paladin in that unit with a lance and a shield. A couple bowmen with a level 1 on beasts. Some peg knights. 11 Knights of the Realm, or Knights Errant, I believe they were, full command. And my general, who's another paladin with just a lance and a shield. I have 2 trebuchets, mounted yeomen, and bowmen on the far left. So on Ogres turn 1, moves up his man-eaters. Couldn't charge him because he had scouted them. So just another view of that. Hides his saber tusk from my bowman. And towards the center, just moves everything up. Gets his iron guts defending the wall, making charging them definitely more difficult. And on the far right, his saber tusk stay out of range of my bowman. And here's kind of an overview after Ogre's turn 1. And he did shoot off my yeoman in the center with his man-eaters. So going to Brett turn 1, on the far left, I've moved my bowman up just to sacrifice him to these man-eaters, make sure he's redirected. Yeah. I almost thought I had him redirected before, but then I remembered that the fence that the bowmen get just counts as a normal obstacle, so he could just charge right through that. So definitely wanted to slow these guys down here. Drop my peg knights back, drop my general's unit back, and main thinking here is I'm going to need more support to take on the iron guts, so I'm going to try to get my BSB's unit in better position and really get the Grail Knights over here. So there, I wheel my BSB's unit, as you can see. So if he does go past the wall, I'm setting myself up to get a lot of nice angles to dual charge that gut bust if I have to. Very far right, Grail Knights march forward as far as they can to get into the fight. And here's how it looks after Brett turn 1. So on Ogre's turn 2, on the far right, he charges a saber tusk in the flank of my Grail Knights. And this is actually a little bit scary. I don't have a standard, don't have a musician. Yeah, I'm steadfast, but he's got a charge, a flank, and if he gets lucky and I fail some of my 3-ups, then this saber tusk could earn 10 times his points value. So I should be fine, but you just never know. Towards the center, yeah, moves up against the wall with his thunder tusk, as you can see. So you can see on Brett turn 1, my trebuchets actually hit his iron guts. I killed 2 of them and put 2 wounds on another. So the longer he stays behind that wall, the more I can bombard him with my trebs, which is nice. So this is after combat on the far left. His man-eaters had charged my bowman, killed him, but failed to overrun far enough to get into my treb. And after combat with the Grail Knights, yeah, what should have happened happened. My Grail Knight slapped him around. So this picture is showing Brett turn 2 / Ogres turn 3. So Brett turn 2, I move my Grail Knights even farther forward. Now I'm in excellent position. If he crosses that wall, I'm going to have a big time charge on him. And if you look at the Iron Guts, I've killed 3 more, I believe, with my trebuchets, so I've really weakened that unit. So Ogres turn 3 try to terror charge my Peg Knights off the board, but they passed their leadership, which was great. And he snuck a Saber Tusk past my pegs. Those things are so small, it's just hard to account for them sometimes. So he made this charge on Ogres turn 3 and easily cleaned up my Treb. Going to Brett turn 3. Yeah, so my instinct was to take the double Paladin unit into the Iron Guts. Because usually that unit has Paladins with a 2-up rerollable, Strength 5 and 6, a War Banner. But of course I remembered that my characters don't have any items at all, so yeah, Iron Guts are a little bit scary. Then I wanted to charge my General's unit into his Thunder Tusk. And the plan there was to fight that combat first, so I could take away the Always Strikes Last aura and give my BSB's unit more of a chance. But I failed a really easy charge, which I was definitely bummed about. In my magic phase, I did get Weissens off on my BSB's unit, which absolutely helps. And in my movement phase, my Peg Knights jump over these Iron Guts, just trying to save points here and not give them any easy charges that would bring them closer to my lines. And these Man-Eaters are scary. They're 4 attacks base, strength 5, and then you throw pistols on them, add poison, and they get really scary. They're expensive, but they're scary. So just another close-up of that. And yeah, during the combat, my BSB's dies. Yeah, he couldn't hack it with 3-up armor. Can't even take a normal shield. That's a crap rule. But I win the combat. I think I put him on a 7 rerollable or something like that. He failed it, and I failed to run him down by 1 inch, which is unfortunate, but his BSB and his Standard Bearer die, and I'm out of the charge arc of his Man-Eater, so can't complain too much about that. So on Ogres turn 4, his Saber Tusk goes into my Trebuchet, and his Man-Eaters move forward. His Thunder Tusk fails to charge against my General's unit, which is nice. And he fails to rally with his Iron Guts, and comes very close to the edge of the board. So very good for me. Now all I have to do is charge him off the board on the next turn and get a huge chunk of his points. So after combat, Saber Tusk beats a Trebuchet. And here's an overview of Ogres turn 4. So Brett turn 4, yeah, I charged the Iron Guts off the board. And then I double charged the Thunder Tusk with my Grails and my General's unit. So the ultimate goal here is to kill this thing outright and then overrun with my General's unit into the Man-Eaters. Which isn't too bad of an overrun. I think it was like a 9 or something. Definitely doable. See, I miscast with my level 1. She gets sucked into the void. Or maybe I do a strength 6 hit to myself. I don't remember. Yeah, I think she had 1 wound early in the game. But I get Weissens off on my General's unit, which helps. And I decided to sacrifice my Peg Knights to the Man-Eaters just by parking them in front. Wasting another turn and just protect the majority of my points from these guys. So another review of Bretonnia turn 4. Don't have the picture of the combat result, but we did kill the Thunder Tusk to a man. But I was unable to overrun far enough to get into the Man-Eaters, which was certainly unfortunate. So on Ogres turn 5, comes into my Peg Knights with the Man-Eaters. Second unit of Man-Eaters comes in the front of my Grails. So really wishing I made that overrun at this point. And after that combat, yeah, so one group beats and runs down my Peg Knights. another group just crushes my Grail Knights. I only have one left. So on my turn, I turn all my Knight units around. And of course my Grail Knight fails to rally. So just another view of that. So going to Ogres turn 6, we're both kind of curious about how this game would end. So there's really only one way the Ogre player can pull out the victory. So if you look at the bottom man-eater unit, you can't see my first Knight unit, but he can see the second one at the back. So his plan is he'll charge my bowman with one man-eater unit, and then charge that Knight unit with his other after they're cleared out of the way. And of course, my Grail Knights are on double one, so they'll fail to rally and run off, and I'll get those points. This is all assuming, of course, that I don't flee with the top Knight unit. But I've been known to hold. I mean, I can't lose the blessing. The lady frowns on such cowardice. So he charges me, and he rolls double ones for his first man-eater unit to charge my bowman. And I think that's like the only thing he could fail on to fail a charge. So that meant his other man-eater unit got a failed charge. And going to my turn, my Grail Knights rally on double ones. I charge both man-eater units, beat them, run them down, and gloriously take the victory from the Ogres. So I certainly enjoyed this game, and I think my opponent did too, just because it's kind of funny the way things turned out. But I thought it was a fitting end before I transition into posting some of my Tomb Kings reports. One, because this opponent was one of the first players I ever went against in Warhammer. And also, of course, he plays the dishonorable Ogres. So to crush the Ogre Kingdoms before I transition to a new army is just a fitting end on many levels. So, yep, I'll be posting Tomb Kings reports pretty soon. Just to try something a little bit different. But Bretonnia will always be my main army, without question. So, definitely be picking them back up from time to time. But, anyways, hope you enjoyed it. And Tomb Kings will be coming up next.